Hi there. Welcome to the performance and tutorials of all the tricks out of the Marvin's Treasured Magic Kit. So the first trick we're going to start with is one that I've entitled the Escaping Blocks. Okay, I have a little toy box, and in my toy box I have a bunch of blocks. Okay, I'm also going to use my magic wand out of the kit for this. But what I want to do first is I want to talk about the blocks. You'll notice that there are 6 colors. All right, I use these for stacking and for building with, right? Certain things you can do with blocks. I love blocks. However, I have to tell you that every time I put my blocks away, every time I clean up my mess, what happens is I put them away for the night, and 2 of them always escape. Sometimes it's 1, but usually it's 2. And I could never figure it out because the box closes. So then I took a rubber band and I closed the box, and they still escaped. So then I couldn't figure it out. So I took a drill. I drilled a hole all the way through, and that way I could hold the blocks just like this inside the box. Now they couldn't get out. It's like they were trapped. It's like a jail for blocks or something. But what happened is they still escaped. Now, I never know which one is going to escape. I never know. It's different colors all the time. But I found out that my kids of my audience, they knew. They figured it out. So I'm going to ask you guys to help me, okay? Billy, would you do me a favor? Pick any 2 colors here. I have yellow, red, orange, green, white, and blue. Which 2 colors would you like to see escape? White and green, they're together. All right, very good. So I don't know, we'll just see if those 2 would be the ones to escape. So I'm going to pick some other helpers. Let's see. Alice, would you do me a favor? Tell me which color I should put in the block first. I want you to think that it's not a, it's not a certain color. The blue. Okay, so we're going to put the blue in the box first. Jamal, which color would you like to pick? The green. Oh, you want to do it right away? Okay, we're going to do the green. Next color, the red. All right, very good. How about Mark? Which color would you like? The white. Okay, very good. So the green and the white, remember, the ones that are supposed to escape. What's next? Frank, the yellow. Very good. And Sally, which one would you like? Well, I guess there's only one left. Very good. Now what I have to do is I have to put the lock in. Very good. And I'm going to close it up. Now can you see the colors? All right, many different colors in here, right? They're locked in. Now what happened is I would put these to bed, I would go to sleep, and 2 would escape. But here in my shows, I need a magic word. Can everybody wave your hands and say abracadabra? Abracadabra. Very good. I'm not sure. We're just going to see. Wait a second. Wait a second. How did you guys do that? That was pretty good. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about how the trick is done. So there's a difference between how the trick is done and how it's performed, okay? When I got this trick, figured out the story. I decided to come up with a story about the escaping blocks. Because that kind of gives it some excitement. It also isn't just here's how it works, boom, right? So I want you to remember that escaping block story is part of how the trick works, part of why it's exciting when to escape. So I also wrote those words down, and it's downloadable on a PDF. So have your mom and dad help you, and you can download it. You can read the whole story about how I locked them up and how they kept escaping and how I picked volunteers. And then once you get that, you practice that. That to me is the most important part. The least important part is how the trick works. Okay, so here's the thing. Every trick that a magician does, not every trick, but a lot of tricks, have a certain set of equipment that look ordinary, but they're not. They have special qualities that let you do the trick. This one is a beautifully built box with 6 blocks. Holes in the box, holes in the box. And the reason they do that is because you don't think about the holes, because they're just there. Now, when I pour the blocks out, you'll notice they come out in a nice line, just like that, all the colors. Box is empty, it can be examined. The blocks can be examined. That's what's so wonderful. But here's the secret. Are you ready? When I put the blocks back in the box, I usually show the first one so people can see. I keep putting it in until I get to the 2 that were chosen. Remember, it was green and yellow the last time? Green and yellow. So what I'm going to do is when I get to the green and yellow box, I don't put them in the normal way. I stand them up like that. So the green box is stood up on one side and the yellow block is stood up on the other side. This is the secret part that I don't tell the audience. Then I put the next 2 blocks on. So the audience doesn't see that. But that's the tricky part. When I put the magic wand in, now see how these 2 are locked in, these 2 are locked in, but these 2 are not locked in. Now that's all hidden by the box, right? That's part of how this is built. This is exactly the right size to fit in there so that all the blocks can fit in. And the last thing I do is when you tip it, you want the cover of the box to block them, so you face the cover towards the audience, so that when it drops out, then you open it and show the other blocks still in there. Now, you also, when I opened it, there's some space, right? So usually what I do is I go like this before I open it, so that the audience sees that the rest are stuck. So that's the trick, right? That's the tricky part. However, there's lots of other parts to the trick instead of how it's done. So here's a couple of things to remember. Okay, my magic wand that comes with the kit has a piece cut out of it. It's kind of shaved out of it. That's for another trick. It's special. But that particular piece makes it hard to go through the blocks. So I always use the regular side. I keep that piece in my hand and I use the regular side to go through the blocks, just because it's a little bit easier. So try to remember that. Use the uncut up side to go through the blocks. Secondly, okay, so part of magic is when it's called the power of 3. And that means when I open the blocks, the audience gets to see how they line up. The very first time I open the box while I'm telling the story about my escaping blocks, they see the blocks in here in a nice orderly line. When I dump them out, they all come out in a nice orderly line. Okay? Then I put them back in as a part of the story, just like this, and I kind of let everybody see it. So they see it line up. That's the second time. I put the wand through, and I show them how the blocks are locked in there. That's the second time the audience sees this. Now, when I do it again, when I ask the colors and I do all that about the colors, when I put them back in the box, the audience is going to think they're going to line up the same way. Because on the third time, they see the pattern. You don't have to see it again. So that helps when you do the tricky part. People just think you're lining it up like you always did. So that's why you want to show it to them twice and then do the trick. Okay? Now, here's the other thing, and I think this is pretty cool. All right? When you dump it out, have it land on a table or in somebody's hand, because you don't want to dump them out and have them fall all over the floor. You want them to land on something where everybody can see it. And then this part here is where you show that the others are still locked in. And that's really the end of the trick. So right then is when you kind of want to go, ta-da, something like that, right? Because that's the end of this particular trick. Okay? So remember, go back and watch how I did it. The first thing I did was I talk about how my blocks escape. I talk about how they're fun colored blocks. I talk about how I play with them. I talk about the colors. And then I say when I put my toys away at night, like everybody does, we clean up our toys, right? That gives me a reason to put them away. I show them in here, so that's the second time. Put the wand through because I drilled the hole because they were keeping escaping. That's the story. They keep escaping. All right. Now, I don't know which two colors escape, but my audience does. You guys do. So pick two colors. All right, green and white. Now put them back in any order. Blue. Very good. If they pick a color that's not the two colors, show all the way as long as you can. Yellow. See? Red. What if they didn't do those two till last? Very good. Orange. Okay, very good. White. Excellent. And green. Very good. Now you put the thing through. Oops. Got stuck. Sorry about that. And now two of them will fall out. Okay? So that's where you want to practice the moves. Practice all of those moves, then practice the script, and then practice performing it. Lots of practice, right? But the idea is the more you practice and the more you work on the script, the more you work on the words, it's more exciting when those two blocks fall out. Okay, we'll get on to the next trick, which is the X-ray vision trick, where you use your mind to see through something solid. Hey, have a great day, and don't forget to read the Abracadabra books. The first one is The Desperate Magician. Okay, it's about a kid who is a little older and he's kind of in trouble. So the kids from the Abracadabra Club have to help him with their magic stuff. Okay, have a great day. See you later.